Yo, what is going on, guys? So, on today's show, we've got a woman here who has now hit 30, and she is not too happy about her current dating situation. So, let's see what she has to say.
Last time I was single, I was 24 and the dating pool was everyone. And now it's like a shallow puddle of age appropriate men who are old and gross, and I don't want to do that.
And you see, this is the thing about a lot of these modern women, guys. They get to 30, they get to 40, and they start to realize that they wasted their damn time. Okay? All of a sudden, the dudes aren't looking at them as much anymore. They're not getting the same amount of attention that they once were. And they start to think that the world is oh so difficult for them, and they have it so rough, guys. And we're going to play a second clip from this woman, kind of depicting the fact that, look, she's going to go, longer and longer in her life, and it's going to be very difficult for her to get a man. But let's just play this clip through one more time, gentlemen, because this is something that a lot of girls realize, right? They get to this age and they go, oh no, I wasted my time. But, some of them never really come to that realization. Well, let's play that through one more time before we get into this woman's second TikTok.
Last time I was single, I was 24 and the dating pool was everyone. And now it's like a shallow puddle of age appropriate men who are old and gross, and I don't want to do that.
And imagine how men look at you now. Okay, so she's saying that she's disgusted by older dudes. The funny part is, guys, there's a lot of women like this. They'll say, oh, you shouldn't care about how I look. You shouldn't care about how old I am, how many partners I've had in my past. None of those things should matter to you. What should matter is, how compatible we are, how much you love me. Okay, but it seems to matter to her, doesn't it, guys? Right? It certainly seems to me as though women are allowed to have one set of standards, but you as a man, you're not allowed to have any standards at all when it comes to dating. But I really wanted to show you guys this woman's second TikTok, okay? Because this is the kind of crap that is going to cause her some real issues as she's going to keep some quality men away by spewing this stuff on the internet. So without further ado, guys, today's second clip, and you already know we've got the hashtags toxic masculinity and hashtag patriarchy on it. Patriarchy, excuse me. So you know it's going to be a good one. And here we go, guys. Just a fair warning, guys. This goes for 50 seconds, and yeah, you might get a headache from this one.
I think Michael's having another baby to get some time off work. Babe, I don't want to take a pill. It doesn't feel as good. He's over 30. He's been single for a long time. No kids. He has 2 cats. He's a cat man. There must be something wrong with him. Hi, babe. Can you grab Catty a beer? We're gonna watch some show. Hi, Joshua. I called you in my office because I get complaints from my female co-workers about your behavior. You're too bossy, you're too bitchy. I need you to tone it down, otherwise their egos will be crushed. He's another crazy Melanist fighting for some men's rights. Like they don't have enough rights, right? Ridiculous.
And that's the end of the video right there, guys. Now, we're going to play this back in a moment and kind of run through her points. But I just want you guys to kind of take away from this that really it doesn't matter how much you give a woman. Okay, now, look, women like this woman, make no question about it, guys, she's complaining about, privilege here. Like, so she obviously identifies with being, with being a womanist and thinking that obviously men and women's rights aren't equal and that women need more rights. Okay, that was the end clip right there. I want you to take a look at this woman and think to yourself, guys, is she privileged or not? I mean, look at this. This woman is sitting here on TikTok, guys, with a green screen technology, makeup all over her face. These teeth, guys, I'm gonna bet some money on it, are not natural. These are probably either composite resin or they're porcelain veneers or some variant of the two things that I just listed there, guys. I mean, she's had dental work done. She's got a ton of makeup on, right? She's using green screen technology, okay? And she, look, I mean, wine glass, everything. And we're making videos here, with the idea that women are oppressed and you have it so difficult, right? And the work environment is so difficult for you. It's like these ladies came out here, guys. They fought for their independence, okay? And they've got it. Right, but the thing is, guys, a lot of these women, they don't want to work. They want more and more rights. And I'm confused, gentlemen. What rights are afforded to men that are not afforded to women? Right? I make that point quite often, guys, but watching videos like this, they will always cite the same two things. Here are the two things that they'll say, guys. They'll say, okay, there's a gender pay gap. Women get paid less. No, they don't. In America, it has literally been illegal since 1963, I believe it was, when the act was passed for you guys over there. The Equal Pay Act. Guys, you're not allowed to pay women less. Okay, so that's that out the window. And then the second thing, man, I can't even remember, but it was just a bunch of BS. Okay, look, I'll probably come back to that when I remember, but we're going to address some of her points now because this is some absolute clownery. So we'll go through a couple at a time before we address each because they're kind of short together. So this first one, I think Michael is having another baby to get some time off work.
I think Michael's having another baby to get some time off work. Babe, I don't want to take a pill. It doesn't feel as good.
Okay, let's just address those first two things there, okay? The first one, women do have children to get time off of work and to get money. Like the reason why people say that is because women are actually out here doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like, if men were out here doing that, I'm sure that the same justified comments would be made, guys. You know what I'm saying? If we had a bunch of dudes out here and, we were able to have children in a hypothetical magical world, right, then they would make the exact same comments. People would make the exact same comments. And, the reason why they say those comments is because a lot of the times it's true. Not always, of course, right? But, there are women out here who they have children, they get time off, they know the benefits of having children. Like, there are benefits to having children, guys. That's why people make those comments. And insofar as the second comment right there about, dudes, not being safe, shall we say, I've got to keep it PG for YouTube here, but not being safe. I'd like to point out that a lot of times it's actually the women insisting on being unsafe in these situations, right? I always hear talks about how men are doing these things, right? How men are, refusing to protect themselves. And while that is true, guys, how about we take some accountability on the women's side where a lot of these girls, they'll go out there, they'll have their fun on the girls' night out, right? I have to kind of read between the lines of what I'm saying here, gents, but, they'll go out, they'll have their fun. And a lot of these girls, man, it's actually them that are insisting that, things are not safe, shall we say. Okay, so again, this is a two-way street, gentlemen. Like, you notice how all the accountability is on men, and yet women are also making these decisions, but you won't hear any of that, right? You will not hear any of that. But let's continue on to her next point here.
He's over 30. He's been single for a long time. No kids. He has 2 cats. He's a cat man. There must be something wrong with him.
Let's address. Okay, guys, that is probably one of the funniest points in the video, and you know why? Because she gets that, guys. There are other TikToks on this woman's TikTok here where she has a cat and stuff. So she's over 30. She's still single, I can only assume. Sue me. And she has cats on. She has a cat on a TikTok that is frequently featured. Okay, so she is the one out here receiving that comment that she's single and she's got a cat, and things are looking pretty bleak for her future. With which, hey, her words, not mine. Okay. Now, the funny part about this, gentleman, is that, okay, she receives those comments and she's not happy about it. But let's actually look at this, okay? If you are a woman and you are over 30 years old and you are still single, it begs the question, what have you been doing this entire time? Okay, because guys, look at this woman, okay? She's not bad looking, right? Yeah, we'll get those dudes in the comments who will say, Taylor, I would never date her. Okay, look, this woman could have a man if she wanted to. Right, she could have a boyfriend, she could have a husband, and yet she doesn't, guys. So you've got to ask yourself the question, what has she been doing this entire time? Okay, because the longer women go without having partners, gentlemen, if they don't want to have a partner, if they don't want to get married, that's totally cool, right? Hey, you're strong and independent, you can do whatever the hell you want. I personally don't give a crap. But the problem becomes, if you are 30 and you've wanted a husband, you've wanted a boyfriend, what have you been doing this entire time? Because you could have had one 10 years ago, okay? So, no, you can't be blaming the men for this. You mean to tell me that out of your 10 plus years dating men, that you haven't found a single good guy? Guys, sounds like a her problem, does it not? Right, this is the kind of crap that gets laid at the feet of men, like, oh, the men are doing something wrong. How about we take some accountability on the woman's side, okay? So that is a huge red flag, guys. If a woman is over 30 and single, it's a red flag. That's what it is. But let's continue through the video.
Hi, babe. Can you grab Catty a beer? We're gonna watch some show. Hi, Joshua. I called you in my office because I get complaints from my female co-workers about your behavior. You're too bossy, you're too bitchy. I need you to tone it down. Otherwise, their egos will be crushed.
Okay, let's talk about those 2 points there. The one on the couch, the person asking for a drink. One, women ask for a lot more than that in a relationship. So I'm failing to see how this is not a redundant point. Like, guys asking this right here, can you grab my friend a drink? We're going to watch the game, or whatever it is you guys might be watching, right? I fail to see how this is a problem, especially considering that women typically ask for a lot more in a relationship. Like, guys, women do not date down. They typically date men who have more money. Now, notice I said typically, guys. They'll have short-term flings with guys who don't. But, if she's looking to get married, she's going to marry up in terms of financially. She might not marry up physically or attraction-wise in terms of a marriage, because marriage is an insurance policy for women. But that aside, guys, men do not ask for much. So I fail to see the problem with this question. And when you look at relationships, men are oftentimes doing a lot more than getting women a drink, right? And a lot of guys do it without complaining as well. So, it's just funny to watch this kind of crap. As far as the next point right here, gentlemen, I refuse to believe that a woman gets called into an office and these exact words get said to her. Let's play that. So,
Complaints from my female coworkers about your behavior. You're too bossy,
yeah, see, this sentence right here, you're too bossy, too B-wordy, I need you to tone it down, otherwise their egos will be crushed. Man, I refuse to believe that women get pulled aside and these exact words are said to them. I refuse, because if you do this in a corporate setting, you call an employee a B-word, and and then you comment on your other employees' egos and you imply that they're fragile, I'm not sure how long your position will last there. Okay, this kind of stuff, guys, really is just fairyland bullcrap. But let's address the last few points before we jump into a couple of Reddit stories on today's show.
otherwise their egos will be crushed. He's another crazy Melanist fighting for some men's rights. Like they don't have enough rights, right? Ridiculous.
And again, just the irony, the complete and utter irony of making a video like this, gentlemen, where, I mean, look at this woman's outfit, look at the makeup she's got on her face. Okay, she's probably had dental work done. These are not natural teeth, and if they are, they're at the very least whitened. Okay, green screen technology, fancy outfit, and again, posting on TikTok, over 30, complaining about dating and the fact that life is hard for her, guys. Now, let's address the final point, which I made, before we continue on. The reason why people make fun of you for fighting for women's rights is because it is the year 2021 and you are the most privileged group of people on the planet. That is why people make fun of you for it. Okay, now if it were the other way around and dudes were campaigning for rights, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, people would make the exact same thing of dudes. You really don't see the equivalent of, men's rights rallies out here. You really don't. I have never seen a men's rights rally in my life. Now, guys, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I see a lot of womanist groups out here on the streets, fighting for equal rights, equal pay, and all that kind of crap, despite the fact, again, that it is illegal to pay men and women different amounts. But, guys, you can't even talk on these points. They're so ridiculous. But anyway, let's continue on to today's Reddit stories, guys. Let's kind of just wind down from those shenanigans we just witnessed. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring this story up, guys, it's a bit of a long one, so buckle in. The reason why I wanted to bring up this story here is because, look, a lot of girls, they get to 30, they get to 40, and look, their dating approach changes. Okay, they realize, all right, I've gone out here, I've had all of these relationships, these casual relationships with men. Now it's time to settle down. Okay, and when she settles down, guys, what she's going to do is she's going to pick a dude who she's not going to give the bedroom fund to. She's going to try and control, and she's going to try and secure her future for herself. So, guys, with that in mind, I wanted to jump into this story. And this entire subreddit was actually sent to me by a subscriber. Thank you very much. One of the 6 women who watched the channel, in fact, she sent me an email and she showed me this subreddit, guys. Now, this is an absolute goldmine for content, okay? Dating over 30. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this story here. We broke up because of bedroom fun incompatibility. Now he says that he loves me and that this is something that we can definitely fix. I need some advice, an outside perspective on this. It's a long one, sorry. I, a 34-year-old woman, recently broke up with my boyfriend of 32 years, of 6 months, primarily because of incompatibilities between us with bedroom fun, drives, and desires. A bit of context, prior to this relationship, I had been mostly happily single for almost a decade. Happily single for almost a decade, guys. I had a long-term relationship in college, 4 years together, and then another serious relationship after that one ended, both of which were somewhat emotionally A-word. After these experiences, I decided to pause dating for a while. I focused on my career and just had a lot of casual relationships or periods of being completely single. As I'm getting older and settling down, I am more interested in trying to build long-term monogamous relationship. My boyfriend knew of all this past, and I knew about his as well. At our age, we all have some baggage. I told him that I needed to go slow and really work on communication with him because I hadn't built intimacy with a romantic partner in a really long time. I want you guys to notice how, now that she's ready to settle down, now it's time to work on that communication. Okay, she'll go out here, she'll have all of these relationships with dudes, casual one night stands or whatever the case may be, but now when it comes down to a serious relationship, oh, we have to take it slow and we have to work on communication. And this is the part where a lot of men look at stories like this and they look at their relationships and go, excuse me, why am I required to take this slow? Why, you're going to withhold bedroom fun from me while I'm still expected to pay for everything for you, pay for dates, give you my attention, give you my time, and we're supposed to call this an even trade. Okay, on top of that, if we want to have kids or something like that, you're getting to an age where maybe you might not be able to, especially as women get into their 40s, guys, the odds are really not looking great, okay? So just, girls want to come into a relationship and go, okay, now that it's been all, I've had my fun, now it's time to take it more seriously, and you're going to have to accept that. So let's continue on here. Anyway, things were going pretty well, and I was really enjoying building our relationship for the first time for the first few months. But issues came up when he told me that he wanted more of this certain kind of thing that I can't talk about on YouTube. The way he brought it up, though, was in the middle of a night after we had bedroom fun. He got really upset, almost like an anxiety attack, and said that he thought we should reconsider our relationship because of this. Obviously, this made me really upset too, and we decided to take a break and think everything over. We did, and we ultimately decided to get back together after taking a break and everything was over. We should try and work on some areas of our relationship, blah, blah, blah. I had told him at the time that I enjoyed this certain act, but I was worried he wanted it more frequently than what I wanted to do it, and that I'd not be able to meet his needs. He didn't want to put a number on how often he wanted to, but said we could try to find compromises. Gentlemen, I've said this before on the channel, but this whole talk of compromise, I want you guys to think about how does this typically look for men in relationships? Because I typically see a lot of compromises from men. That's what I see. But on the point before we continue here, gentlemen, look, if there's something like this happens in your relationship, guys, don't cry about it. Don't get angry about it. Don't get upset about it. Don't sit there and have a great long big discussion about it. If it's a deal breaker for you guys, like the last thing you want to do, I don't care how many times these women will tell you, oh, be emotional in front of us, guys. Never cry in front of a girl. Okay, if you've got issues that you want to talk about it to your friends. Talk about it to your therapist if you've got that available. But like, girls will say that they want a dude who's emotional, but guys, if you cry in front of them, that is one of the quickest way to lose girls. And she's actually, as a result, going to want to do this kind of crap less. So just reading stories like that, whenever I see dudes cry, it's like, guys, women do not care. Okay. So going forward, I tried to be more cognizant of what he wanted during the bedroom fun, while also trying to meet my own needs. Blah blah blah. And again, guys, this entire story, like, look how long this crap is. We're not going to go through all of this. Okay, we are absolutely not. But long story short, they broke up again. But a week later, he called and wanted to get back together. He was saying that things were the complete opposite of things he told me during our last conversation, saying that he just needed more time to think about everything, and he realized how much I meant to him and that he wanted to work together to find a compromise. He was saying that he could be more flexible and find other activities. I took a couple of days to think about it, but told him that I didn't think we should get back together for various reasons, including the fact that I'm now seeing a therapist, and I think it would be good to work through some of this stuff while I am single. He was supportive and understanding. Now, 2 weeks later, he is texting me saying that he loves me, which he never said while we were in a relationship, and that he really wants to do whatever it takes to make things work between us. Am I being too rash for ending it when he's saying that he didn't have enough time to process it before? Part of me worries, is it just me running away when the relationship becomes difficult? But then again, part of me worries that maybe he is just trying to manipulate me And I am being stupid for not seeing that. I know you only get one side of the story here, but I would love to hear some other perspectives about this relationship and if it is worth trying to get through. Now, guys, before we just kind of continue on with the show here, I'd like to highlight the fact that a lot of girls, they get to this age, okay, and, they've gone through these A-word relationships, which, by the way, they're attracted to a lot of the time. They go through these relationships, and now that they hit 30, they're like, okay, I need to do my healing, so I'm going to go see a therapist and whatever the case may be. But guys, let me just make this absolutely clear. Whenever girls will almost never be direct with you. Okay, so this man is being told that their relationship needs to be put on hold and she's not interested because she needs to work on some issues. Guys, I guarantee you there's another dude like lined up in the picture, or she's going to be like, this is not a thing. Whenever women make reasons like this, guys, it's just an excuse. Like, it's just some lie that she'll come up with, like, oh, I'm going through a lot right now, or oh, I can't come because of a family meeting. Like, you think that these women are actually doing stuff and working on themselves? They're absolutely not. Right, all of this stuff, when they say that they're working on themselves, they're still attracted to the exact same kind of men. They're still attracted to the exact same kind of relationships. But what they do is they get to this age and, they upset themselves because they're like, oh, I think I'm deserving of more, but I need a husband, right? I need a life insurance policy. I need someone who's going to always be there for me. And that's what upsets her, because she doesn't want to have to drop her quote unquote standards, okay? But guys, we're going to be jumping into today's next Reddit story before we wrap up today's show. So let's take a look at this one. This one here is titled, Taking It Slow. Dating guys I'm not immediately attracted to instead of rejecting them right away. Is this a good idea or a bad idea? Again, this is dating over 30. I'm wondering if I should start multi-dating and going on more dates with people before assuming incompatibility. After I go on a first date in person with someone, I basically end up with one of the three things. Either we're mutually interested, one side is more interested than the other, or there's mutual disinterest or one-sided interest from me. So let's go through these. The first one, I'm really interested and so is he. We go on a second date, which we probably partially plan during the first date. We see each other 1 to 2 times a week, probably have bedroom fun together on the second or third date, and then it's usually a relationship once we have that conversation. Obviously, I'm still single, so past relationships that started this way have ended due to some longer term incompatibility. The next one. This is the vast majority of dates I go on. We'll have a nice evening, but I'm not feeling nearly as strongly as he seems to be. We may or may not kiss at the end of the date, but the kiss doesn't have any impact on how I feel about the guy. He wants to go out again. Sometimes I decline because of an actual incompatibility, but often I decline because I don't feel like I'm anywhere near matching his energy or enthusiasm. The next one. These are situations where it doesn't matter how I feel because they aren't interested anyway. Not worth worrying about. I kind of wish she'd have elaborated a bit more on this. But look, let's go through this, guys. If you're a man and you go on a date with a woman and you sit there displaying interest, leaning in, just like aggressive, a lot of guys, they go on dates and they're like, oh, I'm so happy, I'm so excited to go on my date, and they spend like hours getting ready. They clean up their whole day just so they have time to fit it in. Guys, don't do that. Okay, do not do that. Women, what they do, gentlemen, is when a dude's really interested in them, they're not interested in him. That's the way it works, okay? A lot of these women, guys, they already know whether or not they're going to waste your time just based on how you look. But, if you go on a date and you act super interested, oh, you better be sure then they don't want to see you again. They don't want to see you again. Situations like this are just really funny because I want you to notice how now that a woman is 30, now she has to adjust her dating style, right? Now she's saying, just keep in mind, by the way, guys, this woman, it's not as if they are just now starting to multi-date. Women multi-date throughout their entire lives, gentlemen. Now, when you say on shows like this that, okay, if you're a dude who's dating, you should go out there and you should see multiple women as well. A lot of guys get really offended and they go, oh, I just want to be true to one person. I don't want to go out there and see multiple women. And that's up to you whether or not you date, guys. I don't shame dudes, whatever they want to do with their dating life or lack thereof. But if you're a dude who's going out there dating, a lot of men don't understand that while you're dating one girl, you are not the only man that she is talking to, guys. You are absolutely not. So this woman is not just starting multi-dating, but again, notice how what she's doing is she's like, oh, should I lower it to dudes who who don't make me immediately attracted to them? Should I accept a man who's maybe a little bit who doesn't make me as interested. And I want you guys to notice how entire articles like this are written like, oh yeah, usually when I go on a date, this happens or this happens or this happens. And we're just so casually talking about the fact that this woman has been through so many partners that she knows, okay, well, dates go like this, this, or this. You know what I mean, guys? Women like this will never be happy in a relationship. Never, ever. But guys, let's kind of run through the rest of this Reddit article before we wrap up today's show. So let's take a look. Obviously, the situation number one is ideal, but this probably only happens 1 in every 20 dates or less. If I'm being really proactive about dating, I might meet one person like this in a year or once every 2 years. I know there is a lot of talk about how situations with instant chemistry can flame out or be toxic, but I don't really feel like these relationships have been unhealthy. So I don't think there are negatives to situation number one, except that it comes about rather infrequently. Right. I'm trying to figure out how to behave in situation number two. I'm wondering if I should just tell these guys that I want to take it slow and space out the dates so that I'm seeing them only once a week or less to see if something develops. I had always assumed that it was unfair to them since I know how I typically behave in situation one if my interests match theirs. But I recently came back to online dating after taking a short break, and my reaction to recent dates was, what the hell? How could I possibly know how I feel about this total stranger I just met? So I'm thinking I should give everyone more dates. Normally, I'd also feel a little bit more resentful towards these guys for taking up my time dating me when I could be doing something fun instead. But I feel like that's a symptom of a different problem. The other things I learned about myself during this break is that I find it really draining when my social life is more dates than hanging out with friends. I'm an extrovert and I get a lot of energy/enjoyment out of social things, but I'm realizing that early dating is a lot more work than socializing. So I'm going to try and set a limit that I need to have at least one fun thing with friends planned per every in-person date. Like, I can't go on 2 dates in 1 week if I don't also have at least 2 fun nights out with friends that week. Obviously, this could change if I met a guy that I really liked, but when it's still in the assessing compatibility stage, this feels better for my mental health. Does anyone else do this where you take it slow with some people, but not with others? How do you get through second or third dates with someone you are lukewarm about? Guys, this is disgusting. This is actually disgusting, okay? Does anyone else do this where you take it slow with some people but not with others? In other words, the dudes that you're attracted to, you know, no effort. But the guys who are actually interested in you, oh, they have to take you out multiple times. You have to take it slow, blah, blah, blah. Guys, do not be falling for this trap from women, okay? And as per the first TikTok, this is how a lot of these women end up alone at 30 with some cats. But gentlemen, we're going to be calling today's episode there. As always, make sure to leave your comments, your thoughts. And as always, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure you check out the locals link in the description, guys. The first month over there is totally free on me with code Fiendish, guys. But without further ado, we're going to be wrapping up today's show there. So as always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves. And I'll be seeing you boys in the next episode. Peace.